All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. If you like the content, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, or come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. 3 more winners today. Deal with that. So nice gains here for the members here. We traded Carvana, again, 3rd time this year, 3 for 3, trading this one. So huge gain there, 25%. Square locked in 13% on that one. And I'm still holding a small position in this, and still holding a small position in Apple after 9.8% on a quarter position there. Still of a 10% position, but still leaving a little bit of runner here. So there's still probably a little bit more upside in this market, but we're starting to get a little overbought here. And by the way, if you want to get in on these gains, get in soon, because the price is going to go up to a market rate. I'm not going to give this away for a couple of value meal prices anymore. We're making serious money here, and it's time for me to start charging a market rate. I've been doing this for about a year now, and you can see the track record is it's there to back it up. I'll show you guys here if you haven't seen it. So up 12.4% now for the year. Take a look here, guys. A lot of green on this screen. March was really the only kind of off month. Everything else is all green here. So, and last year as well. But in any case here, let's talk about the markets. So we see Apple there up 1.3 again. So again, see spiders up 62 basis points here. Triple Q is leading the pack, 1.5%. We talked about Netflix yesterday. We said, let's see if it holds the gains into tomorrow. We did that, had a little dip in the morning. I'm not really sure what that was. I'm not sure. Maybe it was shorts trying to come in, or maybe some longs that were just kind of trapped and just willing to take profits there. Maybe some trapped longs in this area that were happy to get out of the break even. But either way, Netflix is getting a nice pop here. It's basically trading to where it went after hours yesterday. Went up to that 216, 220 area, which is where we are now. And this has really got some, probably a little bit more room up into that red bar. You'll have a speed bump there. And I mean, if we really continue to squeeze for the next couple of weeks, which I think we can in this market, I think we are in melt-up mode right now. We could get, that 100 moving average right to that 250 area, that gap window. That would be your kind of upside target here in the near term. You see the market closing now, as there's the bell. But let's take a look. We'll take a look at Tesla in a minute. So obviously that is the big number. I've got ASML on my other screen here as well. So I'm keeping an eye on that one. That one up nicely today. We'll see what that does into the after hours. But nice little pop. Again, and like I said yesterday, not a fan of these stocks moving up into earnings. I don't like that. But when you consider where a lot of them are, or were 6, 7, 8 months ago, there's ASML here. Look at this one. I mean, up to $900, almost down to $400. So a huge haircut there. So yeah, it did come nicely off the lows now, but it's still, compared to where it was, it is, trading at a huge discount. So we'll take a look at those in a few minutes here, but let's look at the spiders. So getting above this pivot here, and, I'm getting a lot of messages. I don't think that we're, I think there's still some more upside, as I've said, but we're getting a lot of messages. Hey, are we going to short? We're going to short. We're going to short. And, that tells me we still have some more upside. I mean, we did have a nice move off the lows here. It is a little short-term extended and overbought, but we got short-term extended and overbought back here. And all you got is a lousy one-day pullback off that 200, up move, pullback one more day, and then a huge surge. So I think that we're probably going to have this type of a move here over the next couple of weeks. That's kind of what I got penciled in. And we don't want to step in front of that right now. Let the bulls, let the shorts cover, and, just let the trend kind of, take itself, take hold. We just broke out above this 50 moving average. We confirmed that today with the secondary close. And, now we're above this major pivot here at 393.16 on a closing basis. So we're just breaking out of these highs that we haven't been able to get, above since, really the last month. So there's no reason to try and jump in short yet. You want to short into resistance and away from support. So, we don't want to be buying, or we don't want to be shorting up here. Let the markets get, it is a little overbought, don't get me wrong, but let the markets get more overbought. Let them get into resistance. Your first area is this 401.44 area. That would be a gap fill on the spiders. And then a bigger level here, I've got around 407, 408. So those are going to be your major levels here on the spiders. For now, if it gets through that, I could see us going up, maybe up to these levels here, but I don't see us getting through that, at least at this time. Obviously, that's getting way ahead of ourselves, but in any case, here's a triple Q. So right up into that gap fill today, filled that pretty easily. It looks like we actually kind of tried to fill it yesterday, but basically filled it today, and now into this breakdown area. Now this is also resistance. So the Qs, if you wanted to short something, this would be it. But I still don't like the setup. I think we had a nice setup of higher lows here, and we built some compression. So we built some compression to attack this area. So I wouldn't say that this is as major as it normally would be of a resistance zone. So I think the Qs have a little bit more upside. And again, we've been noting that, tech has been the strong horse lately. And again, that has to do with interest rates and, how the yield curve is telling us a recession is coming. So that's sort of the thought process there. But overall, a nice little pop there for the Qs. Let's take a look at Tesla peeking at that. Okay, so we got some movement here on Tesla. Let's go to, just bear with me. All right, so we got a little pop here on Tesla. Nothing crazy going on. It is reacting okay. SML, nothing going out there so far. All right, well, we'll come back in on Tesla in a moment. Let's look back over here. All right, so let's look back, go through our normal thing here, and then we'll get back to Tesla. So IWM confirming above the 50 and this trend line, so a nice breakout there for the Russell. You're going to have some good resistance up here in that 182 area, but nothing to say you can't get up to that 100 moving average on an overshoot. There's also a gap up here, so those are your areas on the IWM. For the Dow, again, confirming above the 50 today. This gap fill is your obvious area there for the diamond, so we'll watch that closely over the next couple of weeks. Semis continue to be strong here, got above that trend line. Again, we said yesterday, it's a little short-term stretched, but when you squeeze, and that's kind of what's happening right now. Everybody who panic shorted right here and on the way down is getting their lunch stolen, basically. So if you didn't take profits, and which a lot of people who are emotional and panic selling don't do. So that's why we're getting this nice push up here. Semis, here's your resistance. There's the gap, 100 MA, but nice little trend line breakout there for the SMH. Hey, how about cloud software? Told you guys, I still expect it to break through this trend line. I've been watching it for a while. We got those lower highs there, and we made that daily chart lower low, which I was like, I don't really, I wish it didn't do that, but it's still got a chance to come, push up here. And again, it is into some resistance right now, so it's, underperforming a little bit over the last, couple of weeks at least, whereas it was outperforming in most of June. But in any case, it is into some resistance here. Again, this is kind of where you broke down from. I could see it getting up to 295 though, maybe 300. But again, nice little pop through that trend line, and showing some continued strength here, as is pretty much all tech things. XBI making new monthly highs right into this area. Did come off the highs pretty sharply though. I don't know how much upside is in this, but a nice little pop there for XBI, and that continues to remain a strong sector. Transports, again, like what I was saying into the weekend, is that you're kind of positive here. We had Delta's Airlines that gave us a new 52-week low. I said you're positive here is that you're just so beaten down at this point that these earnings are kind of priced in, and nice little pop ever since then on the transports. Confirming above the 50, confirming above the trend line. You're going to come into resistance around that 14.1 area, that big sell bar, and then you got that red trend line that goes all the way back here. So right in this zone should be some resistance if you can get through that. That 100 moving average downsloping is where we're going to look for the transports to stall out. Interest rates here. So again, nice little kind of, we talked about the little pullback here, and then possibly kind of flagging a little bit. So the 10-year did get a bid today. We'll see what it does. Overall, it's just still kind of just stuck in this little range, but you did close back above that 20 and 50 moving average. 30-year actually closed negative, so yield curve inverting a little bit, market just shrugging it off. Market doesn't care right now. We're in melt-up mode, and that's another reason why I don't advise shorting right now, because the market it's telling you it doesn't care. It's telling you that it's willing to ignore bad news right now. And you know, again, like we've been saying, summer rally, light volume, we get the summer doldrums. This is the type of price action you expect. Take a look at the daily trading volume, guys. It's very light here on the spiders. So the market can shake off bad news in this environment. Trading up nicely after hours already. I'm assuming Tesla, take a look at Tesla, 774. So there you have it. Now again, we'll see if this holds the gains. That's going to take you right up to about that area. We'll see if it holds the gains, but if it, you know, gets above this area, this is a good area of, you know, kind of a line in the sand. You know, that could cause, you know, some shorts to get squeezed as well. And, you know, we know Tesla, that's a squeezer when it wants to. So we'll pay attention to that tomorrow. Obviously, it's particularly ASML. Doesn't look like anything there on ASML yet, but market doesn't even care at this point. Tesla just crushed. That's all that matters. So anyways, let's get back to it. Where were we? Interest rates here. Let's look at HYG. Again, getting above the 50, you know, came back off the highs again. A lot of resistance in there. We got above the gap window, and you kind of came close to that gap fill, but HYG getting a bid. Again, this is kind of where you broke down from, but you got above that area. We'll see how it behaves into this gap, but a nice little pop there for HYG, even though it came off the highs. Let's take a look at home builders, XHB, continuing higher. Again, this is getting close to some pretty stiff resistance, though, so be watching that level closely on XHB, ITB as well. You guys know the drill there, and VNQ. Tried to get a little follow through. This is one of the few sectors that was red today, but wasn't red by much. You know, I went up into that 50 moving average and kind of filled this gap. You know, basically got very close enough for government work anyway. And you know, he came back in with a little inside inverted hammer. This isn't a bearish print. You know, it's still bullish. The only thing I don't like about it is that the rest of the market really surged today, and this couldn't really participate in it. But in any case, it's not a terrible chart pattern there for VNQ. All right, anyways, XLF continuing higher. Did take out yesterday's highs. You know, basically stalled at the 50 MA. You know, won't make too much out of that. It's holding up well. Broker dealers are holding up as well. I'd probably give it the upside to 410, 415 right now. Or it's actually at 410 already. So we'll say 415 and then 420 around that 100 MA. This is where you broke down. You failed that bullish consolidation. It broke down. So that's where we'd look at to go retest. All right, energy here. So crude pulling back ever so slightly. I wouldn't make a lot out of it. Just kind of an inside day here. You guys essentially know my position on this. XLE did continue to pop up, so up 1% there. Nice little pop there. We'll look at it, you know, around that 75 handle. We'll see if it makes a lower high, but overall, again, like I said, these names, XOP and OIH, XLE, all of them oversold here. OIH also weak as well. Just a little inside day. It hit almost, you know, it actually took out yesterday's low. Take a look at this. And that's how weak this sector has been, or this ETF rather. It actually took out yesterday's low today. So pretty weak. Again, very oversold. They're due for a bounce. And man, it's actually struggling with that 20 moving average, which is pretty remarkable. So anyways, nat gas here. What can you say? Big surge there. You know, I knew this was going to be a good support area. We dollar cost average into this thing on Boyle a few weeks ago. And this was the area I added in at last added in, and we got a nice bid off it, and I didn't think we would get this much of a move out of it, otherwise I'd still be in it. But a nice little pop there for nat gas, got through that 50 moving average. I honestly didn't think we'd do that this quickly, but now we're really starting to get into that breakdown area. So see these pivots here, pivot, and then that coinciding with that red bar, and then there's this pivot high. So we'll see. I mean, it's got a lot of momentum right now, so sometimes you can defy gravity when you have that kind of momentum, but you know, we'll see what it does here. This is kind of where it broke down, so you got to respect that. But overall, huge pop there for nat gas. DXY pulling back into the 20, won't make too much out of that. You know, might get a bid off of there. It's holding up well. Gold, new 52-week lows, or well, I shouldn't say that. Very close though. Almost 52-week lows there on gold. I still think this gets a bid here in the near term, especially GDX, which I am long. Did pull back a little bit today, which is, you know, a little disappointing, but the level I'm going off of is more of a weekly and monthly chart pattern, so sometimes it can take a little bit of time to play out, but overall the metals were a little weak today. Platinum getting rejected at that 20 moving average. I think it does put in a higher low though, and then we can see palladium here, really kind of a nothing kind of day going on, and then copper also just kind of an inside day here. Very oversold, but you know, you got to respect that downtrend. Anyways, Bitcoin, so didn't participate in the rally, but, or this is actually Ether here, didn't participate in the rally, but in all fairness, it was up 17% 2 days ago, so it's okay to have a few pullback candles. And if it actually starts to consolidate, that's actually good, because then it can, you know, push through that, and, you know, maybe you can get up to that 2,000 handle, like I said yesterday. So that could be in the cards. And Bitcoin also pulling back a little bit after getting through that 50 yesterday. Again, it was up really nicely yesterday, so I don't really hold the, you know, it's down 87 basis points, a whopping 87 basis points. I wouldn't make too much out of that. You know, like I was saying with OIH and VNQ, it's notable that they're weak today. With Bitcoin, I don't care that it was red in an up market today because of how, you know, big of a surge we had the last 2 days. So it's a little bit more forgivable here, but nothing's really changed. We'll watch these for pattern. If they start to flag up, you know, again, maybe it wants to retest this breakdown area. Ether, like I said, has potentially more upside with that huge surge. So that is outperforming now, and that is trying to change that weekly pattern right now. But we'll see if this can't hold by the end of the week. You still have an inside bar, which I would take as pretty bearish there. And then Bitcoin, obviously, with a lot more work to do to negate that one, but you know, we're not even close to that right now. Anyways, let's flip back over here to the spiders. All right, so fading off the highs, I wonder if Tesla's coming back in. Yeah, it's coming back in a little bit, down to 758. So let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, either way, this is still a, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to turn negative unless Elon says something crazy in the margin, in the margin call, in the conference call. Speaking of margin calls, Elon at 550. Anyways, you know, a nice little pop here for Tesla. We'll take one last look at ASML. Doesn't look like that's doing anything, so we won't worry about that right now. As long as Tesla holds the gains this market, we'll be happy. Again, we had Netflix beating yesterday. Triple Qs are up nicely in the after hours. Actually, no, now they're turning negative here. So interesting little dynamic there for the Qs. But, you know, a huge move off the lows. Like I said, you are into some resistance. So, you know, not to say that we are just going to go up in a straight line. But when you do get these squeezes and these summer melt-ups, you know, this is the type of thing that can happen. Anyways, going to wrap it up here. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, guys, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.